Today we are discussing with the filmmaker Milko Lazarov and the producer Veselka Kiyakova about their new movie Aga, Bulgaria's official entry for the 2020 Academy Award for Best Foreign Language Film. Aga has done really well in international festivals so far, having accumulated many awards and accolades. The film is extremely interesting and pays tribute to the emblematic Nanook of the North by Robert Flaherty in 1922. Good afternoon, Milko and Veselka.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to Artic.gr. Welcome to Greece. Congratulations on the movie.
Thank you.
To begin with, what does Aga mean?
Aga is the name of the main drama character in the film. Aga, as far as I heard, there is a goddess named Aga. Also, Aga, as far as I know, is a planet very far from here, very cold one, but Aga is just a name, the name of the daughter of the main character.
Milko, the issues of companionship and loss, but also the value of family that the movie talks about are universal. Why is it that you chose Siberia in particular for the setting?
We tried first in Greenland, then in Canada. We tried many places for a location for the film, but for many reasons the only possible place appeared to be Siberia. It's Yakutia, it's part of Russian Federation. So if the question consists of other perspective, this kind of story you have in Greece, the same story. For example, parents, their daughter is abroad, in Spain, for example, or in United States, and you talk each other through Skype or different. The story will be the same, but won't be a metaphor. Putting a story in that kind of surroundings, it's turned out to be a metaphor. So that's why we choose that kind of place for shooting that very simple story.
Milko, the Inuit way of life that looks so primitive in our eyes has got a specific semiology. Would you like to elaborate on that?
Actually, all of the actions in the film, they are just imaginary activities. They're not linked with the real life. They don't hunt like that, they don't fishing like that. So let's say that everything is like imaginary with some basic things like dresses, like the yurt, everything is just fictionary.
How did the choice of the specific location come about? And this is a question that is addressed to both of you.
We made a lot of research, and it turns out that financially Yakutia was the only place that we can shoot the movie. We tried in Canada, but it was very expensive, and we tried also Greenland, which is impossible because they don't have the infrastructure. It was a very big crew. So we went to Yakutia 2 times, we met local filmmakers, and it turns out that it's possible to make the movie there.
Veselka, did shooting take place on location entirely?
Yes. We made the yurt over the frozen Lena River, so we built the yurt entirely. And we were living in the city, and we were traveling every day around 2 hours in one direction to get to the location. And then we rebuilt the yurt in a place closer to the city where we feel a bit more comfortable to shoot the interiors.
Yeah.
So it was closer and we had more time for the shooting.
Again, a question for both of you. What kind of difficulties did the crew encounter whilst shooting?
I don't remember any kind of obstacles over there. Everything went very smooth. In the very opposite of our expectations. Everything went very smooth. No accidents, no... I don't remember something like to be very cold, even minus 30. We had a good equipment, like Arctic style equipment, boots, and ropes and everything. So in my memories, probably this is the project that went much smoother than others.
It was difficult for the DOP crew to carry all the cases, I remember, because the snow was very deep, and we shoot on film stock, which was a bit challenging. We sent the film stock every 2 days from Moscow to Paris.
Veselka, would you like to share with us your experience in organizing such a demanding production under extreme conditions, and which were the biggest challenges?
It's a topic that we can discuss a lot. First, the financing, because we couldn't make the movie only with financing that we got from Bulgaria, so we started looking for co-producers. We went to many co-production markets. In Sofia we met our French co-producer, and in Sarajevo during Cinelink we met our German co-producers. The German co-producers present the project to ZDF Arte. We met with Milko, we went on a meeting with them, so they also support the project financially. And then the difficult part, the most difficult part was that they're shooting a lot of movies in Yakutia, but mostly local small productions. So for everybody that was the first big movie that they were shot. So the crew was very passionate about filmmaking, but we had some difficulties during the organization process because of their lifestyle, and everything was a bit difficult to arrange. We were not in a place that we are familiar, so definitely.
Milko, to what extent, if at all, did you want Nanook to be the Nanook of 1922?
I heard in your entry that you linked Nanook from the North with our film, but there is nothing in common between those two films. We just left the name Nanook as a tribute, nothing else in the film. I haven't watched Nanook from 20 years, from my students' years. Flaherty is a genius, so to be honest, in my head, nothing in common with Nanook of the North, with our film. Only the name Nanook as a tribute 100 years later. So the story is different, if there is a story in the first one. So it's a masterpiece, the first documentary that shocked the world. But Nanook has, outside both of the films, Nanook as a metaphor of the bravest men in the world, because you cannot imagine the condition they live and everything over there by their own will. They live there not by punishment, so they live there because they love to live in that pure world.
And to both of you, is Aga what all of us try to look for eventually?
I would say that Aga is a metaphor of the modern progressive person. Aga represents all of us. We are all Aga. We are all looking for a better life, for easier life.
Yeah, probably the main conflict between parents and children nowadays, because the tempo of the rush time nowadays is probably the highest in the history of humankind. So the conflict there is like young people change their lives so fast that the parents cannot understand what's going on. So there is that kind of conflict, but especially in the very, very youth with mobile phones. I have kids, 4.5. I have twins, man, boy and girl. So they are very familiar with everything. So they live in different worlds. So I don't understand them, but I won't be angry about this. So this is a brand new world. So it's their world. I believe that 20, 30 years after today, the governments will be running with people under 30 or something, 25. So everything gets younger and younger. So Finland, there is much more examples than Finland. So this is the main conflict. It's a soft conflict in the first, if you take a look, but it's not very soft. This is the main conflict of humankind nowadays. So we represent in the film a similar problem, regarding observing the last family on Earth. It's a metaphor for the last family, like decadence of the values and everything. Even though they still like each other, they still love each other. As if you've seen the film and the final scene, they are very linked. There is no accusation, there is no kind of angry. So,
Milko, you are the president of the Union of Bulgarian Filmmakers. How do you see contemporary Bulgarian cinema and European cinema as a whole?
It's very hard to say, like always. I remember when we were with my first film in Venice, Bertolucci was a speech, very nice, it's remarkable, it was a remarkable speech, and someone asked Bertolucci, he was in a wheelchair, very old, and someone asked Bertolucci, where is the future of Italian cinema? And Bertolucci says, the future of the Italian cinema is in the past of the Italian cinema. So, and he was right. So the situation in Europe, the future in European filmmaking is in the past of the European filmmaking. So every time the leaders of the world cinema is Europe. All the time. Italian movies, French movies, like always. I don't like actions quite much. It's very hard to make an action. To me, it's impossible. But I don't like entertainment at all. There are a lot of things that can entertain you. But in Europe, the movie, and in Asia also, but they are a kind of extension of the European cinema culture. I believe in that. That kind of art house movie, the important things, the topics and goals of the directors, is still very, very quite much alive. Even though the festivals goes mainstream because they're dying, the movie business is dying, everything changed after the internet. Probably for better, I don't know. But what have I go to cinema to spend $50 with my girl, boyfriend, with some popcorns and taxi? It's 100. Why? And if you have your very big screen and good sound system, and you have Netflix and HBO, I can understand people. Yes, it's very different to sit with other people in the venue, in the cinema. It's very, very different, but I understand the people.
Veselka, how do you see the future of Bulgarian cinema?
With the change of technology, the cinema became very easy, let's say, to make. Everybody can make movies with their phones, and I think that What Milko said about the cinema and going to the cinema is maybe the biggest problem, because cinema is for cinema, to go there and to see and to experience this movie with other people. So in general, I hope that the cinema won't die, but nobody knows what will happen. And Bulgarian cinema is, I think, in a better situation than it was maybe 10, 20 years ago. And I hope that it will keep that direction.
Yeah, Bulgarian cinema is in a good shape, like Greek cinema also. So we are familiar with Greek companies, we work with Greek companies. For example, the main role in my first film is played by Christos Tergioglu, one of the best actors I have ever worked. I plan tomorrow we will have a lunch tomorrow, and I will propose to Christos to take part of my next film also. So we are very linked with Greek cinema somehow. She is a co-producer of some Greek projects. So,
Milko, have you got any upcoming projects that you would like to share with us?
I'm not sure. To me, script is one thing, film is completely different. I'm changing my mind when I see the place, when the film will be set or shot. To me, it's completely change everything. For example, this atmosphere here, I'll choose digital or 35 or 16, depends of everything, like energies. So if you're talking about the script, I have an idea, and they're writing at the moment the script. But the film, I don't know what kind of film I will do. I don't know.
Thank you both very much for the nice interview. We wish you every success in the Oscars. We look forward to chatting again with you on your upcoming projects.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you.